Rashawn Browne, a pro basketball player from Canada. You're from Toronto, right? Or around there?
Originally, yep, Toronto.
That's kind of where I'm from. It's Did you find it hard being in Canada growing up trying to play basketball as opposed to other sports like hockey and stuff like that? Because the basketball scene isn't as big here as it is in some other countries.
No, I think by the time I was coming up in Toronto, at least it was pretty big. And right now I live in Winnipeg, and I say it's on the come up. It's not quite as big as it in Toronto, but by the time I was a young guy playing basketball in Toronto, the Raptors were already around, so the culture was already developing. So it wasn't necessarily the hardest thing. And then we played AAU in the States every weekend. So
That's nice. Growing up, did you were you a fan of like the Toronto Raptors growing up?
yeah, Raptors been my favorite team. I think they came into existence in '95, and I was born in '95. So just kind of we grew together, you know.
Who was your favorite player growing up?
When I was young, it would have been Vince Carter, and then it transitioned to LeBron James, and it's been LeBron ever since.
I'm rocking the Vince Carter jersey today. He's
Why not?
You played college at New Mexico State,
First, yeah.
and then you played at the California University of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
What was your time like in college?
Well, those two schools, so both learning experiences. I learned a lot. First school, I'd say more so from the basketball aspect. Second school was, I'd say more just development about staying even keel, not getting too high with the highs, not getting too low with the lows. And then I finished off at the University of Manitoba, and I'd say that's where it all came together for me.
So currently you play in the pro basketball, the CEBL, correct?
Mm-hmm.
For the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Was it hard for you to like kind of move a bit far out from like where you're from, even though it is still in Canada?
No, I don't think so. We did a bubble situation. COVID is already a thing at the time, so we kind of all met up in a central area of Niagara in Ontario, Canada there.
That's where I'm from.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's where we were. We played where the Niagara River Lions play.
Okay, so at the Meridian Center in St. Catharines?
Yeah, yeah.
So going through like when you're playing basketball, what is your diet and workout routine like to keep up in shape for playing pro basketball?
My diet isn't as strict as most people's probably should be in my position. Typically, I try not to eat after, say, 9 p.m., and I try not to eat before 11, but that's really the only thing I really do to focus on. I try not to eat too badly, but, I mean, I'll have some, bad food every now and then, but, gotta have a life too, right?
Yeah. Do you have like a go-to celebration that you do when you are hyped up for a big play or something?
I don't think so, man. I think I try and keep it pretty. I try to keep it pretty cool, you know. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
not a one, but I try to keep it very just even.
yeah. And then like, do you have like a moment when you started playing pro basketball where you kind of just got like maybe crossed or showed up by some other player that made you think like, oh, this is real now? Like I'm playing pro basketball.
No, so not a pro moment. I didn't have any of those moments at pro. I remember my first AAU game though. That would have been, I think I was 14 or 15 at the time. I was playing a year up, and one of our big men said, "Oh, I got the big," like guarding the big on the other team. And the big laughed and said, "I'm not a big," and it turned out to be Rondé Hollis Jefferson, right? We didn't know at the time who he was, what team final was, or whatever team he was on. We had no clue about any of this stuff. It was our first tournament. And they taught us pretty quickly that we weren't as good as we thought we were. But it was good, though, because, you learn from those situations and you go ahead and you put in the back of your mind was when you're training, like, hey, I got to keep going type thing, you know?
And on the court, what do you find that your like biggest strong suit is? Do you find that you're an all-around type of player, like good shooter, defense, inside scoring, or do you find that you have like a specific thing that you excel better than others at on the court?
I think my main go-to thing would just be I'm pretty decent at getting to the paint. And that's not necessarily always to score or try and shoot for myself, but when I can touch the paint, the defense collapses, and then I can usually find people open pretty well.
Yeah. So when COVID hit, you probably weren't able to see your family as much being in Saskatchewan, or do they still live in Toronto?
My family lives in Toronto. I live in Winnipeg.
Okay, so living in Winnipeg, you couldn't see your family as much. Was that very tough to just go through not being able to see them?
I was kind of used to it. I've been kind of away from home for the last 6 years, right? So, I mean that didn't really change with COVID.
So what was your like mindset going into the draft? Like, were you just were you hoping to get drafted by a specific team, or you were just happy to get wherever you can get?
I was kind of hoping to go to the Rattlers. It's nice and close to or not necessarily close, but closer to where I am right now than a lot of the other teams. And I had heard a little bit about what was going on over there and the kind of fans that they had, and it was definitely something I wanted to be a part of.
So, moving to the Saskatchewan Rattlers, did you find that that was like a very good, just like team mindset? Did you get there? Did you instantly like click with your teammates and just have like a good time with them?
Yeah, no, it was all good. I was obviously the young guy in the team just being drafted, and all the older guys and the vets, they took good care of me, taught me things that I didn't really know before, things I needed to improve. And I think I've done a good job in this time off of really focusing on those things, watching film, not only of Radler time, but seeing those mistakes that I was making still when I was in college, just getting away with it just because of a different level of play. And I'm ready to take those things into the next season and hopefully do better than last year.
And do you find that you're very capable when it comes into the big situation? The eyes are on you, and you got to make a clutch shot. Do you find that you are one of those guys on your team that you can make that shot if they need you to?
I'd like to think so. That's the plan. That's how I go into it thinking. I mean, just because it's at the end of a game, a shot's a shot. Like it's either gonna go in or it's gonna miss. Like once you take that pressure off yourself, it probably becomes a little easier to actually come through and make the shot, right?
Yeah. And you're a very capable defender. Last year you averaged 1.17 steals per game. Do you find that like perimeter defense is one of your strong suits?
It's something I try and focus on. I think I have the tools to be a decent defender. I'm pretty long, decently athletic, so it's something I try to hang my hat on and show that I can do. You got to always expose the things that you're good at, so you show your worth to the team, and when you go on the court, you do what you do.
And so playing with the Saskatchewan Rattlers, you average 9 points per game. Do you find that you're one of the like better scorers on your team?
We got a lot of great scores. I think it was just a matter of I just got open a lot of or a few times more than some other guys did, but I feel like if they were in the same situation, they would have scored the same amount as I did.
And is the goal? Are you hoping to maybe work your way up to the NBA, or are you comfortable playing in Saskatchewan and want to stay there for a bit?
I'm good in the CEBL. I actually I have like a job outside of basketball. I'm a financial consultant at a company called Investors Group over here. That's my main job, and then like obviously basketball when basketball season comes. Sorry, I get a little bit more switch my brain, but throughout the rest of the year, it's mostly just working there and training for basketball. And then once the basketball season comes, then I'm switch back on to okay, I'm a basketball player now. But
To
yeah.
2015-2016, you were a solid contributor off the bench at New Mexico State. Do you have a lot of good relationships with your teammates there? Do you still talk to them?
Yeah, there's a good amount of them I still talk to.
And you made the jump to California, University of Pennsylvania, and your stats went up there. Were you getting a lot more touches? Do you find when you transferred over to the different school?
Yeah, no, I definitely felt that I got more touches. Unfortunately, there I got hurt and I had to play through some things that didn't go so well for me. But then I came home, got healthy, and things turned up for me, so that was good.
And back to that Rondé Hollis Jefferson moment, do you find it pretty cool to think that like, oh, I played against like NBA players who went on to be like solid contributors on an NBA team like Rondé Hollis Jefferson?
No, I mean, yeah, it's cool. Like, good for him. I'm glad he's doing well in his career and stuff like that. But I don't really think about it too much. Honestly, just thought about it once you asked me that question.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you. This is a great interview.
No problem, man. Thanks for taking the time.